LiberalViewer presents.
Right, I would like to just jump in on that too, because YouTube is not necessarily gonna help you or work on your behalf or decide what your punishment is going to be. You know, if you chose the shooting of a basketball to illustrate the idea of shooting a basketball, that means that there was some value in that thing. You're not necessarily critiquing the shot as a shot. You're using the shot to compose your work, and thus it seems to me, it sounds like you're infringing. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but that's what it sounds like, and I had to make those kinds of choices. And you say you don't want to get sued, but the will I, won't I get sued question is different from the should I, shouldn't I get sued. You can do something where you shouldn't get sued, but you do. Or maybe you should, and you don't. So there are, each copyright holder has its own set of priorities. A big one is, how much money are we losing from this, and how much money can we make from this? Well, we're losing nothing, and the guy has nothing, so we're probably going to do nothing, except maybe take the video down if we have the power. But a year from now, that video now has money, or you have money, or it's taking away money, and a copyright holder can make that decision again. So if you take something that isn't yours and use it in a way that doesn't comment on the thing, then you're forever exposed to whatever happens to that thing.
Yeah. So to follow up on a couple of points there, I think that are worth emphasizing. The last point that Joe made about that there's no kind of time lapse period for a copyright holder to kind of sit back, and they may not know about the video. They may change their mind about whether they want it up or not. They might change their mind within the span of a few days and then change their minds again and put it back up. We see that happen often. But the key point is that there's no way of knowing, for us, from YouTube, we don't make the copyright calls on our own because we don't know what the copyright holder's preferences are, right? We don't know who owns what. We don't know if you got permission or not. And so we just respond when we're told that there's a problem with the video. And then we have a series of kind of back and forth process where if people think that the copyright holder made a mistake or that they overstepped their rights, then you can appeal that and get your video back up, and then you go through the whole kind of process laid out by the statute. But the key point is that we basically just have to respond to what the copyright holder says, because whether it's a takedown notice or whether they've given us a copy of one of their files in advance and it's in our copyright identification system, our content identification system. Otherwise, yeah, it's up to basically each copyright holder's preferences, and there's almost as many copyright holders as there are people. Well, there is a copyright holder for every person who has a video camera. That's how it works. So there's that many different preferences out there.
But just to put it in context, guys, less than 1% of the videos on YouTube are the subject of DMCA complaints.
And has anyone ever been sued for a video that they put onto YouTube, to your knowledge?
I don't know. We definitely say, because it's so tricky, we just encourage people to get all the rights that they need, have a nice strong paper trail around it, or just make everything themselves.
See, for like corporations, that's fine, but I mean, the majority of YouTubers, if I was to guess, would be just kids or individuals that really don't want to do that. Like,
right.
That's why it'd be good to get some kind of a clear cut. If worst case scenario gets deleted or get taken down, that's fine for most of us. But the last thing we want to do is, either get sued or make something out of it, and then have to get that taken down.
Yeah. So the tricky thing is, what we're trying to move towards is a world where you have different content companies out there that are willing to tell YouTube users and fans, okay, here's the stuff we want you to use in your videos, and here's the stuff we don't want you to use. If you use this stuff, we'll make money from it, or we'll share money with you from it, and that sort of thing. We've done that with a couple of different companies that are starting to toe into that line of actually user-friendly copyright licensing. So there's a company called Rumblefish that announced just a couple weeks ago that they have a store called the Friendly Music Store, where you can go and you buy for a couple bucks a track, but in addition to the actual MP3, you get a little copyright license that comes with it that says you can leave this in your YouTube video forever for the life of the copyright. And then we also point to Creative Commons licensed stuff that you can use in videos. We have a tool called Audio Swap, which you've probably heard of, where if you have a takedown problem with the video, you can sub in music that's been pre-cleared. But there's a lot of stuff, and here's the tricky part, there's a lot of stuff that we have licensed, particularly music, from different major labels and publishers and things like that, that they haven't yet gone the extra step of telling users affirmatively, here's the stuff we want you to use and here's the stuff we don't. And so we have rights for it, but the users don't have the licenses directly, right? So it's a little bit of a tricky situation. So given all that, we just encourage people to either go out and clear the stuff with royalty-free, like Rumblefish or Creative Commons or that sort of thing, or just make it all yourself. That's our just general position on that stuff. So.
I mean, if I could jump in.
Please.
The way you were describing how YouTube treats, especially partner videos, it doesn't really match with the way my videos get treated, I don't think, and what I've heard from other partners. I mean, you said that you don't make any judgments about the rights to the video when it's submitted. You wait for the copyright holder to tell you what they want done. But I make all my videos almost are fair use videos, and when I submit them, it takes a really long time to get them monetized and have ads next to them. Like I made a video about this panel last Tuesday, and it still doesn't have an ad next to it, even though I submitted it for monetization.
Oh, so you're in the monetization program. I guess I was referring generally to how we handle uploads to the site as across the board. It's slightly different.
No, but you said that when a partner
partner.
uploads, the partner is making a warranty that they have all the rights.
Actually,
and
every
they're
user
indemnifying.
Every
YouTube.
user does that.
Right.
Yeah.
So if YouTube's not making a judgment, why does it take so long to approve the partner videos with fair use clips in them?
Well, so offering partnerships to everybody in the world, you have to basically have a good idea that the person is who they say they are, that they're going to be popular, that they're going to make it worthwhile for us to be a partner with them, right? To be able to share revenue, and once we start talking about generating revenues, then we have to talk about we have a bunch of different procedures in place to try and make sure that everybody's playing by the book. So.
And what are those procedures?
I don't actually work on them, so I can't say with much detail. But, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure if this is kind of because you reminded me. I'm just curious. It's only happened like 4 times in the past like 2 years I've been a partner, and so I would post a video and I'd go through the copyright, and there's no music, nothing, and almost all the time it automatically adds it there. I'm like, yes, let's do this. One days later, and but the last weekend I posted a video, right? And it was just a normal video, just me talking like an idiot, and the ads aren't still there, and I was just wondering why, because it's usually there right away. So it's like 30,000 views later, and I mean it's not the biggest deal because when you post a new video, they go back and they watch your other videos. I mean that's cool, but I was just curious, like if you guys even knew, because that's just something that's done with me. It's like Santa when I was younger, I just didn't know.
I can't say without going into the actual system and checking stuff out.
So I can answer that. I'm a product manager for YouTube and I work on.
I knew that. I was actually you. They were up there and you were over here. I didn't want to be rude.
No, totally fine. So we have, like Glenn said, we have a procedure, and we work with. We have 10,000 partners over 14 countries, and we can have a procedure once you submit a monetization video of kind of what is the content of your video, what is the category of the video, what is the account standing, and based on that triggers an algorithm that kind of looks at the video or maybe sends it for processing, which sometimes takes longer. And that's where we're working on basically making that process faster.
Okay, so there's not some like evil person that's like, I don't like this kid. You know what? I'm gonna mess with them.
That could be an evil idea.
No, you understand me. Okay, thank you.
Well, I mean, you
But
should know
it's
that
constant iteration, and we know that it's an issue for some partners because sometimes we go like, it's constantly iterating.
Oh, that's not a big deal because it happens like once every 13, 15 videos. So it's not the biggest deal.
Well, for me, it happens for all my videos. And when I signed up to be a partner in like the second wave of partnerships, in the agreement it said all my videos would be monetized within 48 hours, and very few of them are actually monetized within 48 hours, especially on weekends.
Yeah, and we're also working on a way of you can publish it at a time or upon ads review. So we are, looking at features that could make that faster. Definitely,
I guess I have a question as to the process. When I became a partner a couple years back, and my primary stick is parody, which I know is a very sticky, there's really no answer, and I understand that. So I guess my question would then go to, if I've only ever had one takedown, but I am friends with other partners who also do parodies, and they've had stuff taken down. Where when I began my YouTube channel, I would license the music from a karaoke track company. I paid them $125, and they said you can put this on the internet for $125, and that's what I would do. And then I had one get taken down. Warner Brothers claimed copyright on it, and I said, well, this is licensed and whatever, and they did end up putting it back up. However, YouTube said, well, we're putting it back up, but you can't monetize it, which I didn't understand why I can put it up, but I can't monetize it. That didn't make sense to me. But from that point, I said, okay, I'm making all my own music then, and I just rebuild everything from the ground up. But I do know that there are partners that have done the same thing, parodies, they rebuild the music themselves, and
Yeah.
they've still had copyright stuff take, I think it happened to Peter Coffin just the other day. And I guess my question is, why when, you know, something is claimed like that, is it just immediately taken down? Or is there any kind of a plan where, you know, YouTube employees can kind of, you know, hey, I can show you where I've paid for the licensing for this, or hey, I can show you, you know, that I rebuilt this music myself, instead of just bam, it's down, because even if you, you know, file the counterclaim notice and it goes back up eventually, the damage is done. I mean, I know with my video, it was on its way to going viral. It had over 100,000 views in 2 days. And when I uploaded it the second time, 3 weeks later, well, most people had already seen it, and
Yeah.
it took like 2 or 3 months for it to get back
Yeah.
to where it was.